Hey everyone, it's Adam Skidmore here with another tutorial video for Infestation Survivor Stories. You might also know me as Artemis Knives. But I'm here to talk to you today a little bit about trading items with another player, interaction in a safe zone, PvP ranks, your GI, as well as trading and reporting another player. So let's get right into it. First things first, there's 4 safe zones on the map. The northern one being Blue Ridge, the eastern one being Goblin Peak Settlement, the southern one being Castle Pine, and the western settlement being Survivalist Outpost. In these 4 safe zones within the red circled area, your character cannot engage in player versus player combat. You cannot be killed by another player. You can, however, die to an infection or bleeding. So keep that in mind. You still can die of hunger in a safe zone. You just cannot be engaged upon by another player. Another way you can tell you're in a safe zone, aside from the map, is you'll notice a giant blue plus shield on my paper doll in the bottom left-hand corner. That shows that my character is in a safe zone and combat does not work against me in this area. So, basically, once I'm in here in the safe zone doing this, I cannot right-click and zoom in on a player. I cannot left-click and shoot. I can't swing. I can look around with binoculars, but basically combat does not work. So, once we're in the safe zone, you're going to want to look for an area called a vault. The vault is going to contain an NPC in it which will give you access to your global inventory in-game. If you want to access the global inventory and you're not in-game, but you're on menu, then as long as you have that blue shield and you've logged off, you can access it through your inventory. There's also another area in a safe zone which is called a market, and the market can be found on the opposite side of the vault. It's actually got a little thing called a market. I want to try and show you here. General store right there, as you can see. And in that building, that can also access the marketplace, which you can also do on the menu. Regardless, accessing it in-game or on the menu, it still deposits in your global inventory. So from here, what I want to do is, now that we're in a safe zone, I want to show you how to deposit some items in your global inventory, as well as take a few items out. So let's come over here to the GI NPC. You'll walk up to him and you'll see Access Vault, and it says hold E to access vault. So we'll hold E, or whatever key you've bound it to, and we will access our vault. From here, depositing and removing items from our global inventory is as simple as either right-clicking an item or dragging and dropping said item. Now, you'll notice that the bandages did not go into the gun holster slot. That is intended. It goes into the medical supplies area, and you'll see all my bandages there. Say I have 14 bandages and I don't want to individually click them. Well, you can drag drop while holding shift, and you can choose how many you would like to move. It makes it very simple for inventory management. You either drag back and forth, you can drag multiple stacks using shift, or you can just right click items to and from your inventory simply one at a time. Now, the only other way you can access the GI, aside from being in a safe zone, is if your character has just recently died. If your character just recently died, and it is the first time the character is resurrecting and it has not entered into the world, you can access both the market and your global inventory from the main menu. Alright, let's move on to a little bit about PvP ranks. As you can see over here, we've got this player looking at us right here with a sniper rifle. And it looks like they're a bandit. We can see that they're a bandit also by hitting the tab menu, which brings up the user list in the server. And you can see that it's myself and this other character, GI Rurkins. Now, I would normally not be very trustworthy of a bandit. He's got a bandit title because he's killed other innocent players. But because we have that blue shield, this is a safe zone, so doing business with this player might not necessarily be so bad. Let's see if we can trade him for that sniper rifle. In order to conduct a trade with another player, you must be in proximity to them, you must walk over to them, and you must hold E on them to initiate a trade. This will then send a trade request to the other player. They can then respond to that by just holding E on my character, and it will successfully initiate a trade. From there, you'll be presented with 16 boxes that you can fill with items, and they can fill 16 boxes with items. You'll see his items he's offering here, a no ammo durability 100% sniper rifle, and I have nothing to offer. So let's offer him a honey badger, maybe a couple med kits, some bandages, and some other medical supplies. Now you can see that I've got a honey badger, 2 med kits, 3 bandages, 2 painkillers, and an antibiotic up for trade. I can then click either accept trade or decline trade, and I can see when the other player has accepted the trade as well. So my light is not green, his light is green, so now I'm going to click the accept trade button, and voila, the items have successfully exchanged hands. with no blood spilled in the process. So I now have his sniper rifle, he has a couple of my medical supplies and gun, and all is well. So now say, I'm not so trustworthy of this player even though I had a successful trade with him, but I'd still like to group up with him and play with him and not risk my life. How could I do that? Well, you can just hit tab, which brings up the user menu for the server, and we're going to select him. We're going to invite him to a group. Once I've invited him to a group, he can simply accept the group by seeing when it says you've received a group invite, my name will be flashing, he'll click my name, and there will be an option to accept the group. So let's see. Would you like to group? I've sent him an invite. Maybe he did not realize that I sent him a group invite. Ah, there we are. So now you can see he has a very faint yellow arrow over his head. He will also show up as a yellow person on the map so I can see where he is at all times. And now that we are grouped, we cannot kill each other despite being in a safe zone or out in the open world. So let's go walk off into the open world right now, and I want to show you how another item works in the game, which is called a harvesting tool. A harvesting tool is a melee weapon that can't be used to kill another player. However, it can be used to harvest precious materials. Precious materials, which are wood, stone, and metal, can be seen very easily once equipping the harvesting tool. As you can see, anything that's harvestable has a bright yellow outline around it. So rocks, metal objects, and trees. Then, once you want to go up to them and harvest, all you have to do is put the harvesting tool on your melee slot and walk up to the item. You'll notice that I can't harvest in a safe zone because it won't let me swing my axe. But we can remedy this by stepping out of the safe zone. I would normally be very wary of stepping out of a safe zone right now with this bandit chasing behind me. However, this bandit is in my group, and so they cannot harm me unless they throw a grenade at me. So I'll have to be on my toes if he pulls out any grenades. But otherwise, we should be a-okay. So let's step over here. And I think we should be hitting the safe zone line any second. And once we do, I'm going to show you how to harvest some wood from a tree. So let's see here. We'll just make it on past this clearing right here. I'd say right at about this tree should be the line. Oh, maybe a little up, just right here. So, now that we've successfully left the safe zone, you'll notice that in the bottom left-hand corner, I no longer have that shield right there. So, combat is enabled. I could technically shoot my gun if I had any ammo, although I can't really defend myself. And the harvesting tool does not count as a weapon. As you can see, attacking, it attacks very slow. It actually deals no damage. Even though we are in a group, this would normally not kill another player. Do not ever use a resource tool attempting to kill another player. It will not work. So, you just come over to this tree. You can use first person or third person, and you'll just want to swing at the tree. And as you can see, we can just gather wood. And so in that right-hand side, you'll see 2 wood has been added to your inventory. Wood does not drop, and it is forever stored here in your inventory as a non-droppable item with wood, stone, and metal. Now these are used to build special items on special maps called strongholds. We have a map called Cliffside, which is a stronghold, and you can take wood, stone, and metal and build walls and generators and light sources and farms and other things of that sort. They do not build on the Colorado map, but the Colorado map is where you will find harvesting picks and find the proper trees and rocks and things so that you can harvest the materials for strongholds. So, that's about it for this video. The last thing is, say you're in a group or say you're playing on a server and you want to report a player for misconduct. Reporting a player for misconduct is very simple. All you do is just hit this tab menu, select the player that you'd like to report, click the report button. You'll notice in the bottom left hand corner you'll see fair fight and then quotations GI Rurikens. Then all you need to do is press the enter key, do not type anything else, and that message will be picked up by Fairfight as a report for the player, and then they will go under investigation. Now remember, you can report a player as many times as you want. They will always be player reviewed, and you have nothing to fear about reporting a player. It's always best to just report players if you feel that there's been something that's happened, and they will be investigated and then go on their way. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video and learned how to properly report and trade and group with other players. Watch out for bandits. Make sure if you find a bandit that they're in your group. Otherwise you might end up with a bullet in the back of your head. So happy hunting, be safe, enjoy your time in Infestation.